Hey, what's up? It's Drew Blazik. Want to do a quick review on the exam. I'm going to pull it up here real quick. For the midterm two, you should have all this information here that pops up. Um, you have to take the exam on lockdown browser. Something to keep in mind. Um, I have no problem if you use handwritten notes for the exam. No problem at all. I don't want anything printed, nothing like that. So what I would do is I would review all this stuff, what's on the midterm. Just like the first midterm, what we have is, let me go back to it. New share. I can't move the Word document. There you go. 20 multiple choice questions. They're taken directly from the homework test bank. Therefore, you should practice doing multiple choice questions as much as possible. Go back, review the homework. I would not recommend memorizing them because you're going to have some similar questions that you will have the opposite of, or something very similar, but it's asking something different. Look at the question, understand it. You got 5 problems that you have to type in and answer. So you're going to have to look at the numbers on that and figure out what that is. And the last part, all I want to do was I'm going to kind of go over the exam, what kind of questions there are. So this is kind of important here. So I would pay attention to here because some of these test bank questions that you notice in the homework could be a bit challenging. So let's just review what kind of questions might be asked. So, for example, you may have to have a question about ordering a buy or sell on the start stock means to execute a transaction at the um, hold on, let me get the full question here. On the possible price. So you want to kind of see, is it a bid, ask, is it market, is it a stop price one? Another kind of question that might be on there is the difference between a 30-year mortgage rate and a 30-year treasury bond rate is primarily what? What's the difference between those two interest rates? Um, the credit crisis is mostly attributed to the use of what? And what that question is it more of a talking about the mortgage originators? Um, were they using more of a conservative criteria or a liberal criteria? You want to kind of think about on that. Using an amortization schedule of 15-year, 100,000 year, or a 100,000 mortgage. You want to know how to calculate what is the interest payment? What's the payments um, for that mortgage? I want to understand beta. What does beta mean for an asset? If you have a higher beta, what does that mean? Remember, you have standard deviation, got beta. Then you want to know what standard deviation means. That standard deviation is the deviation away from the mean for that certain security. And beta is really the systemic risk that the entire market. You can't diversify out of beta. You can diversify out of standard deviation. Another kind of question that might be asked would be something like this: an expected blank in economic growth places blank pressure on bond prices. Which of the following has a instrument has a highly active secondary market? So you want to kind of look at that, and you're looking at commercial banks, the federal funds, purchase agreements, and bankers' acceptance. So I would look over those notes to see which one has a very high secondary market. You got a question about treasury bills. What is it? They have a strong secondary market. Is it a primary market? You want to know if you hold on to something for, say, 182 days, and I give you the par value, I give you the value of the treasury. Um, what is the yield to maturity? What is the rate of that? So you want to know how to do those calculations. Another sort of question. Assume that a stock J is priced at blank per share and pays a dividend of certain amount per share. An investor purchases a stock at a margin of 50% borrowing and the remainder at the from the broker at 10%. If after 1 year the stock is sold at a price per share, what is the return to the investor? So you want to know how to do that margin. And there's a video in that module. You can watch it. If you watch the video, it's very simple. That's all for that. Again, amortization schedule. You want to know what to calculate, how to figure out how much interest is in there. Last two questions I want to go over is interest rates increase, long-term bond prices do what? Know the relationship between the interest rate and the bond price. Last question would be someone would like to purchase a stock price of 70. The stock is not expected to pay any dividends in the coming year. And he can either put up the entire amount and purchase the stock or borrow 35 from his brokerage firm at an annual interest rate of 12% and put it up the remainder. Mark thinks he can sell the stock for 100 after 1 year. So the question is, what is the estimated return on this stock? So, okay, those are the kind of questions. I did have an open Zoom meeting, but didn't get too many people that showed. But I want to make a video so you can watch this your own time. And if you have any questions, like I said, let me know. Try to get the exam done by Friday so I can go over the weekend to make sure there's no errors in each person's exam. Or if you had a decimal issue and it was very close to the actual answer, I'll give you credit. Thank you, and I'll see you later. Any questions, send me an email.